So this is my part 3, and this is my final thought. So, you know, healers, we have a unique gift, like I said. And we're not trying to track the broken and the worry. Like I said in the part 1, that's what they're attracted to. That's what they see. And you gotta understand, the broken and worry, unfortunately, it starts from home, start from trauma, start from bad relationship one from another. It starts from not trusting people. Sadly, people gone through some shit in their life. And sadly to say, when they come across a good person, a legit person, a person that is real and honest and raw like steak meat, they don't know how to act to that. Because all their life, or the beginning of their life, they've been surrounded by toxic, fake people, users, manipulators, gaslighting people who just want to use you for whatever reason. They never came across somebody who just want to be who you are, and they are who they are, and they just want to skip with dandelions on the damn field somewhere. So, unfortunately, people never come across real people. I like Miss Cassandra. She's a preacher in New York City. I put her YouTube channel in the description below on this part, because she talks a lot about all kinds of people, how to deal with them, how to cope with them, and how you can be a stronger person, not just physically, but spiritually. Because one thing that my family member told me, they say, you just have to let people who they are. They can be evil or good. You just got to let people who they are. One thing that another friend of mine told me, you cannot change people. The only people they can change is their self. And I think a lot of us wish they can just change, because it's like, oh, this is the reason why you don't have friends. This is the reason why people don't invite you. This is the reason why you don't have nobody close to you. This is the reason why nobody bond to you. You tell them all of this, but their dumb brain don't even know it, because they're so immune to it. They're so used to it, and they're natural to it. So, sadly to say, you gotta let them find in their self, in their heart, to change who they are. Healers can only do so much. A healer will stay by you for a good minute, but once the healer realizes that you're not going to do anything to make yourself different or change your mindset, your environment, your whole background, a healer would just go and leave. And then they be dramatized, and they be left in the desert, starving, looking for water, because for the 30 nights and 30 days you was with this person on the desert, getting them food and water. Like, okay, now follow me. I know the way out of this desert. You have to follow me. Nah, I'm fine. It's gonna rain eventually. You got your tent, fire, all the food supplies that this person keeps sending to you, and they keep asking you, do you want to leave the desert? The person saying, yeah, I want to leave the desert. And then you're like, okay, now follow me. And the person's like, nah, that's okay. I'm too tired. It's way too hot in here. I'm underneath this tent. I'm just going to stay underneath the tent. I'm good. But you say you want to leave the desert. Yeah, I know I want to leave the desert, but I'm good. I'm fine. I'm good. 30 days. That was it. A healer won't tell you when they're going to leave. They're just going to leave, you know. Day 30, you haven't seen the healer. Day 41, haven't seen the healer. Now your food's running out, water's running out, the tent getting old, everything is running out. Everything is getting worn and tear by the environment. You're crying for help, trying to use the radio, but the radio doesn't work because you can't contact your healer. That's exactly what broken, worried people do. They get so comfortable with somebody helping them, take care of them, be patient with them, be consistent with them, but then the healer will leave eventually. Depends on the situation and depends how much patience they have with that other person. If they don't have no more patience, they will leave you high and dry. And that is your fault. So guess what? You in that desert and you end up being dead. 1 year later, they found that person in the desert, skeleton. They asked the healer, like, why you didn't help your friend? Then the person who's a broken and worried one had their other buddies, the so-called friends, that they only intervene when it's parties or social gatherings or events or concerts, etc., etc. They only come when it's a good time, but they don't stick around when it's hard time, you know? So, so the so-called friends come and like, they be mad at the healer. Like, well, you were the healer. You were always there for them, da-da-da-da. And the healer gonna look at them like, where was you at then? Because I did my part. Y'all didn't care about this person until the news hit. And then y'all want to be on national TV telling this person dirty laundry or whatever you feel like to spill the tea. You didn't really care about your friend. But you want to get this 15 minutes of fame on the news talking about your friend's back. Meanwhile, I was trying to help that person get out of the desert, but they got so comfortable of me wasting my energy and time to provide them all that food and make sure I know how to get to them and get out of there. By the time I figure that out, they still want to stay because they had nothing but a bunch of excuses. No. And those so-called friends, they do that too. They show out and show off, or they be silent. Like I said, the broken and the worried, it's not their fault. It's not their fault how they be. There's many factors how people come to broken and worried type of people. Many factors. Sadly to say, it's society, family, and peer pressure. And the biggest one of all is social media. So I do feel bad people out there who are, I call them broken and worried. But I do pray for them, and I do have hope for them. But like many people tell me this too. It's the people you're surrounded with. It's how you look on life and how you feel inside about yourself. Because self-love comes from the heart in yourself. If you don't have self-love, then you will never, ever overcome obstacles, problems, issues. So much darkness in this world, it's ridiculous. You can use people, but eventually people will leave you. And that's a sad reality. And most broken and worried people, they use 3 things to make sure they don't ever be alone. They use their body, they use their ego, or their persona, and then they use their money. Now, if you don't have money, you use shortcuts to please people. So, sadly to say, that's how they survive. That's how they get by. Man, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just thinking of this. But it's sad. It's very sad. But one thing a healer has to really try to the very first step that a broken, worried person has to try. It's called self-reliance. If you don't have self-reliance, then you will always have to tailgate on somebody. And that's a very sad thing. But in healers, we attract many people. It's not our fault. I don't have a stamp on my forehead say, hey, all the broken women come over here. Because they see the image, they hear my voice, they see a car, they see a clean-cut stud, soft stud, automatically money. Automatically, oh, she's gonna tolerate me. That's what they see, and it's very sad. I mean, most people say, well, hell, Jasmine, just throw them in therapy and counseling. And that's the only way you're going to help them. But I was sitting there and thought about that too. But I wish, like, therapy and counseling and psychiatrists, I wish it was affordable. And I wish some, not all, but I wish most of them will at least show some pride in their job. Because there are a lot of broken people who are walking like glass. And there's very few people on this earth that walk like stones. I see y'all another video.